In the last class, we were configuring the Spring security for our web application, which we have created earlier, right? So here we had a small problem. Yes, I have sorted it out. It was a very small problem. The thing is, configuring that XML file was in wrong place. So you will find that I was configuring the XML file, Spring security configuration file. Now, what we did is we have created a configuration file, Spring Bean configuration file, to configure the security details. What we did initially, we have configured it here with the dispatcher server, but actually we were supposed to configure it here on top. You see, I placed it here. This will fix the issue. This is the only change I did. Okay, yes, and everything else is fine. So once again I'll quickly review what are all the configurations we have done so far. So in order to configure the security, Spring security in your application, in your web application, first of all you have to add this delegating filter proxy. So this is the same stuff which we added yesterday. There is no change to this one. Okay, and then we'll be creating a separate configuration file to configure a Spring Bean configuration file. We'll create a separate Spring Bean configuration file here. You see, this configuration file will have the details, right? Security configuration details. And you have to supply this configuration file details here. How you have to do that? You see, you have to configure the details here using this context parameter. You see, already we got root context XML file configured here. We will add an additional file, Spring security file. That's it. We'll be adding Spring security file here. That's all we will be doing. Okay. Yes. Fine. So earlier, what I did is, I'll tell you. If you people were not clear what was the issue in the last class, what I tell you, instead of configuring it here as a context parameter, I actually configured it here. Okay. Yes, that was the problem. So make sure that it is actually configured on top as a context parameter using the context config location. That's it. Okay, that is the only change I did. And additionally we have added this Spring Bean configuration file. This is Spring Bean configuration file itself, but we have added a names. Is that what schema did we add? Security schema. So that's security namespace. We have to add additionally here. That's the only thing which I did additionally here. You see, I've added this security namespace. Okay. Yes. Got it. Here, you'll find that this is same configuration file. Yes. But what I did, okay, we have configured the details, right? So you see, using this authentication manager, you will configure the credentials. Okay, in the XML file, we can configure the credentials, right? And that is what we did. And then, okay, so which web resources you want to secure? I want to secure all the web resources in this application as of now by default. That is what I wanted to do here. Yes, you see that's the reason why I'm using this pattern slash star star. So here, this access attribute is used to configure the user's role. Okay, it is used to configure the user's role. So basically it indicates like which users, okay, you want them to access this application. Okay, yes, in this case the users whose role is role admin should be able to access this application, right? And here we got a user credentials, Harry, password is 123, and we have configured the role as role admin for this particular user. Okay, generally we can configure these details in the database, right? So we'll do that later, but let's see whether it is working or not. Is there any login page in our application? Have you people noticed it? Do we have any login page in our application? Did we add any login page in our application? Is it present? Is it there? Actually, there is no login page in our application. Okay? Yes, there's no login page. Yes, you will find that we don't have any login page in our application. So here, if you try to access any of the web resources, you will find that means any page. You try to access any page or any URL from this application. What the Spring Security does, first of all, what it does basically, yes, can you people tell me what it does? Yes. It will intercept this request, okay, and then it will check whether this user is logged in or not. It will check whether the user is logged in or not. Okay, yes. So what if the user is not logged in? Then what it does? What if the user is not presently logged in? What it does? Yes. So if the user is not logged in, then you know what? The application, the Spring Security module will prompt the user to log in. It will display a login page and it will ask the user to log in. Only after user logs in here, the user will be allowed to access any resources. Once the user logs in, you see the Spring Security module will check whether uh, this user has got appropriate privileges to access a particular resource or not. If the Spring Security finds that the user is not privileged to access the resource, then simply it will deny the access. It will simply deny the access here to that user. Okay? Yes, that is how it works. Fine. So here now I'll try to run this code once. Okay. We'll see whether the application behaves as we expected or not. The expected behavior is there or not, we'll check once. I'm deploying it on the server. Okay, it's not completely deployed. Just a second. Error loading configuration file. Just a second. Okay, let me reply it once. Didn't change anything here, right? Okay. All the changes I did here. Yes. And index symbol. Okay, fine. Let me redeploy it. Error loading. Class not found exceptional. Where is this form file? So just before the class I tested it successfully. Let me rebuild that once. It is building the application, just a second. Okay, now I'll deploy this. My goodness, this is changed just a second. We never got this issue. It says listener itself is not found. But the thing is, we have that listener. It already all the configurations have been done. Oh, so there is no lib directory here. This is straight. There is no loop directory at all. Just a second. No, it's not adding this one. Enable to read the class. Product access. Okay. Okay. Flash smartphone access. Oh, it is a very weird. Unable to load the class product or what it is there now. Just a second, please. Let me restart the ID once. That class is very much existing. What there is, yes, it is not there. Okay. Oops, there is no product class here now. Really, there are no classes actually. Just a second. Just a second, it is rebuilding. Yes, this time it should work. Strangely, there was not even a single class over there. Yes. So this was purely the issue with the tool. Okay, you see, we are trying to access, you see, by default, we are trying to access this application, right? So we got this login page. Not only this page, we try to access any other page. But suppose if I want to access the search JSP, you see, you will find that we got search JSP also here in our application. Okay, let's say I'll try to place a request for search JSP. You see, again I'm just directed to this login page, and this is the default login page which is generated by the framework. So I didn't create this login page here. Okay, yes. So now we'll provide the credentials Harry and Harry123. Yes, click on login. Yes, now you got the search page. Okay, so now you can work with it. Let's say 101. Yes, it works fine. So now we have successfully applied the security to our application. So now, you know, I'll add one more user here. Okay, let's say the user is some other name. Let's say John. And the password is John123. And the role is user, let's say, normal user. Now, you say this for this user, I don't want this application to be accessible. Though the user is valid, let's see. Here as of now, the application is only accessible to role admin. Let's see what happens if a user is trying to access this application without the valid privileges, or you see that user has got no privileges, right? It's not supposed to access. That user is not a privileged. Let's see what happens in this case. So here you see because actually we got a session here which is not logged out. That's the reason why that session is retained. That's the reason why you see This time it is not asking us to log out. Sorry, it is not asking us to validate. Okay, let's say from another browser, let's try to access it. The session is still up, so it's still, retained, but for a period of time it will be retained. If I'm trying to access the application from this browser, it is showing, it is asking us to log in. That means it's a different session, right? So, John, I'll show you how to log out. John 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'll click on login. So this time, the application will not allow the user to access this page or access the application. See, it will throw this error. It says access is denied. You know what? Here, actually, when the user is invalid, I don't want to see, I want a page to be displayed. In that page, I want an error message stating that, okay, you don't have privileges to access this page. You see, by default, it is doing it, right? So here, this is what happens when user is trying to, a user without privileges is trying to access a resource. This is what happens. But the thing is here, what I want to do is, I don't want this page. Okay, actually here it is just displaying a message, right? Instead, I want to display a page, okay, with a message, error message. Instead, I want to display a page with an error message here. Yes. So a simple error message, which users can easily understand what the problem is. So what to do in this case? How can we do that? Let's see. So here, if you want to do that, then you have to configure the details here. You have to configure those details here. Okay. Yes. You'll find you can use this element called as access denied handler error page equal to, they will create an error page, my error page, error.jsp. Okay. And here, I'll create that JSP page here. Okay. My error. There are two different ways. This is one way. You can create our own JSP. Let's say you don't have permissions to access this page. Okay. Let's see. There is some issue. Just a second. It says there is some exception. Must begin with, I'm sorry, add a slash here. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now here I'll put this John. John go to click on login. You see, it is displaying that page in my error page. It says that you don't have access to this page or permissions to access this page. Okay, so hope this is clear for you people, right? So we can customize. Next, here, um, actually, how do we handle this logout? Let's say as of now the user is logged in, the session is still up. How can I actually log out? If user wants to log out, user wants to log out. How can we do that? So we can also handle the logout. Similarly, here, what we'll do is in this page, somewhere in the search page, I'll add logout. Okay. So logout. Okay. And here we have to add anchor tag. Let's equal to. Let me use this JSTL tags here. C URL value equal to J underscore string underscore security underscore logout. That's it. So we'll do this. Okay. Just a second. Yes, here this way. Okay, this is the URL. This is a standard URL. If you place a request or if user places a request for this URL j underscore string underscore security underscore logout, okay, what happens? The string security module, when it intercepts this request, okay, for the URL with the specified URL j string security logout, it will simply log out that user. Okay, it will log out that user. That means if user is trying to access any page, again he has to log in. He or she has to log in again. Okay, let's see. Okay, stop the server. That user is not yet logged out. That is the problem. So we'll do one thing. Let me add that logout URL here also. Okay. Another attribute we can't use it here. Okay. Sorry. Align equal to center. Then map it with font. No problem. We'll add that. Sorry. Logout URL here also, so that we can log out the user. That's it. Okay. Run the phone. Okay, still the user is logged in, that's the problem. Now we'll log out, okay? Click on log out. So now, what if user is trying to access page of user is not logged out? I'm sorry, just a second. There is some issue with this. Oh, there is some problem. Just a second, please. Yeah, same thing. I have to do it here also in my page. Okay. No. Just a second. Is it reflecting the changes which we have done? Just a second. Use same quotes here. Okay. Still the user is not logged out. Just a second. Here one more better. I'll do it directly here. I'll just follow this, right? Okay, yes, this is working now. I'm sorry. Necessarily we have used it. Okay, now this user is logged out. This is please check this once. And actually, you know what? Here, let's say as of now, when user logs out, it is straight away taking the user to the login page. Right? Here, when user logs out, let's say if user successfully logs out, I want to take the user to a different page where it will display a message that user is successfully logged out. Okay, let's do that. So I'll create a JSP page. We can give any name, but I'll call it as logout success. JSP. Let's say it will print a message. You are successfully logged out. And we have to configure this page now. You will find that you got an element called as logout. Logout URL will be welcome.jsp. The names, sorry, not welcome, logout.jsp, sorry. So it should be logout type. So for login, also I will configure, that is what I wanted to do. Logout success.jsp. On successful login, you want to take the user to a particular page, we will also do that. So logout as of now, sorry, logout success page. Okay. So now he's asking the user, prompting the user to log in. So here, say the logs in, so we will like the search page. The search page is also available for the user. Now we'll log out. Click on log out. Oh, still we are getting this login page itself. Logout success.jsp server. It should actually refer to that logout success.jsp. That JSP should be invoked here. That is how we'll configure it. So just a second, I got this wrong here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, actually we can also configure controller. Let's see whether the controller is working or not. Okay. Instead of this, just a second, we got another one. Login, logout control. Second, let's try this. If you want, you can configure controller. Sometimes, I'm in two minds whether I'm unable to understand whether, the tool is making the issue. So this ID, it has got few issues. I have to resolve them. There are some problems with ID also. The thing is which is not updating it. Okay. The user is successfully logged out earlier, but the reason it is asking us to again log in. Okay. Search page. Log out. Yeah. Sorry. Um, we've been taken to this logout success. Okay. Not logout success. Yeah. You know what it is doing actually? It is trying to call a controller. So we'll do this logout success. Why we got this register page? But by default, this register page is configured. Register controller is configured. So we got this register page. We logged out. This is unexpected behavior. Let's do one thing. It's better to configure a controller, and through the controller we'll divert the request here. Let's say logout success. The URL of this controller, I'll make it logout success. User logout success. Here we'll return view name. That is JSP name. Logout success JSP server. That's it. So whenever this method is invoked, stay on top of this method, it's the continuous request mapping. Logout success ratio. That's it. It means whenever a request is placed for this URL logout success, go and it returns the URL of the JSP logout success. Yes. Logout success.html. So let me once check this logout success.html. Okay. So let's refresh this page. We got this once. Okay. Click on logout. The register page is displayed by default. Okay. We need to contribute success URL. Okay. User is not logged out earlier. Now we'll click on log out. User is logged out, but this URL is not working actually. Okay. So let me fix this issue again on this minor features. Okay, fine. Now there are a few more things which I wanted to show you people. Okay, I'll tell you what was the issue again. I have to debug it. So what are the other things which we can do here? Okay, we saw how to configure the URL for this role. Let's say now here I want to configure or create my own login page. I want to create my own login page here. So what to do in that case? So you can also create your own login page. Okay, it is possible. So it's pretty simple and straightforward, creating our own login page. But here what we have to do is we have to follow some certain rules while creating this login page. What are these? Let's check once. First of all, got a form. In the form, the URL should be j underscore string underscore security underscore check. This should be the URL. So this is the first thing. The method, make sure that it is post. Next thing here, we will create input text fields, right, for username. Name equal to, make sure that this is j underscore username. And similarly, we'll create a password field, like password. The password field name should be j underscore password. Okay. We will add a submit button, right? Input type equal to submit. In the value, say submit. Name, make sure that it is submitted. Okay. That's all. That's it. You know what? Here, this is my login page, custom login page, which we want the string security framework to use. Okay, so you got this page. So you have to configure this page in the configuration file now. In the string security configuration file, you will configure this page. So what to do, how we are going to do that? Here, you will use this element called as form login. The login page details, login.jsp. Okay. Yes. Do this. So we have configured the details about the login page. Please place it here. Now we'll run this code. We will get this login page now. You can see the web app. Let's go login. Okay. We should put the extension in the connection. We are not using it anyway. So you'll find that actually this is okay. So don't configure it. Fix it. Okay, this taking it. Should this page. It should also work. Login to this thing. Let me try this login.jsp. The whole application is not working. Maybe go again as well. First access to login page. Get a warning. Enable. It's the most certainly ever. Okay, fine. I got it. I'm sorry. You know what we have to do here? Anonymous. We have to also configure anonymous access here for this page. Which page? For the login page. Padding equal to login JSP access equal to anonymous access equal to anonymous. So what we did is we have what we did is earlier we have actually configured this complete URLs, all the URLs. What we did is we have actually made sure that only the users whose role is role admin can access this URLs, right? Yes, only the users whose role is role admin can access the URLs. But actually it doesn't work like that, because the login page should be anonymously, should be able to, should be accessed by anyone, right? Yeah. Just a minute, another batch people are waiting. Last a few minutes. Yeah. Now what we have to do, we have to make sure that here the access to this login page is given to anyone. Basically, without authenticating, it is difficult, right, to validate. So without validating blindly, you cannot provide access to anyone, right? Yeah. But first of all, they should be validated. So the thing is here, I'll do this role anonymous. So this time it should work. Just still we have issues. Okay, fine. So I will configure it. I'll show you. We have to do few more things here, but people won't leave me now. So I'll show you what to do with this anonymous login. So we can configure it such a way that anyone can. We have to overwrite this, or else we have to configure a different URL here. Make sure that this login doesn't come under this whole admin access. Okay, so if that is the case, then you won't get this page. Okay, fine. So I will do it in the next